Organized Grind with Orikal Uno.
Yeah.
Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Orikal Uno checking in with another episode of Organized Grind, the podcast. This is episode 21. We got Optimystic from Lifted Mindz in the house.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for listening.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Orikal Uno, for having me, my friend.
Hey, thanks for coming through. So, we're gonna get into some fly hip-hop shit, keeping it cool. Gonna dig into your history just a little bit. And
that's the name of the game, fly hip-hop shit.
There you go, man. So, why don't we start out, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently up to.
Cool. So, my name's Optimystic, like Orikal said. Most people probably know me originally from the group Lifted Mindz, although I have done a couple other projects, but we're still going really hard with the Lifted Mindz family as well. So that's kind of what really launched me off. I also work as an audio engineer over at Cloverleaf Audio, doing mixing, mastering, production, making beats, doing everything like that. And then I also have another project called Goop City, which is part of the Lifted Mindz family, as I like to say, but kind of has a life of its own as well. And so I MC and do a little bit of production in that group as well. And then we do big old sets together with like Lifted Mindz, Goop City sets. So it's a little bit of live hip hop, a little bit of live horn section, drums. We usually get like dancers and some kind of other visuals, projection art, and a whole lot of rapping. So
yeah, man,
it's a lot of fun.
Definitely, yeah. I've witnessed and got to play at one, and
we appreciate you, man.
The vibe.
Thanks for coming through.
Hey, the vibe was very dope. But why don't we start from the beginning? Where were you born, and where did you grow up at?
So I was born in St. Petersburg, Russia. Came out to Minnesota in 1994. I was just a baby, so I don't have much credit there, but my parents, we were a Jewish Eastern European family, and our people kind of get let out in waves from Russia, so I think like the Soviet Union fell in 92 or 93 or something like that, and then they're like, okay, we can let like 1,000 Jews out to America or some shit, so we were like 12 of them or something.
Wow, man.
And so I happened to have an aunt out here in Minnesota, and we just kind of moved out here, really with not very much to our name at all, except for like a couple cousins and, my dad, my mom, and me and my sister, and my dad's parents, and then just kind of moved all around Minnesota for a few years. Eventually, it kind of settled in the south suburbs where I met Joe from Lifted Mindz as early as kindergarten, and so kind of grew up around there, eventually moving out to St. Paul about 8 years ago, to kind of like the first Lifted Mindz house, where we really started hitting the scene and kind of playing shows and throwing our own house parties, throwing our own house shows, stuff like that, and kind of have grown from there. Yeah, you were going to say something that
I'm blown away by your story, just because like that's the first time that I've heard that, and it's just amazing to hear that. So like when you're that young, like do you realize kind of what's happening at that age? Or
so I was actually, I don't really have any memories of being in Russia. I remember growing up, like once we were in America, because I was like a year old, my sister was like 5, so we were very young. And then my earliest memories were kind of like that first period of where we were just kind of moving around. I think we moved like every little different part of the metro area, like St. Louis Park, Hopkins, Minneapolis, Plymouth, just every kind of year.
Sure.
As like a very common immigrant story is, you know what I mean? You just come and start doing the, wherever you can find housing type thing. And in Russia, everybody lived, at least I don't have memories of this, but one of my parents tell me, and like, I have gone back to my grandma's apartment right now, but like everybody lived in like one apartment. Like you, your aunt, your grandma, your 3 kids, like it was all in like a 2-bedroom apartment. So like that's kind of what they were used to. So I think that's like what was very much like kind of like what we were doing for the first, 5, 6, 7 years we were out here. Yeah. But then eventually we got a house out in Savage and lived there for a while. That's kind of like where I grew up. As far as started going to school and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah, man. I was about to ask. So, when did your first experience with hip hop happen?
Man, so one of my earliest memories is, and this is gonna sound funny, but just riding in the car in the back seat with like my parents,
Okay.
and like Nelly would come on the radio,
Yeah.
and like I remember singing along to like some Nelly song,
Okay.
and then like my parents just laughing at me because they were like, looked back there, they're like, why is he singing? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's like my earliest honest to God experience with hip hop.
Okay. That's dope, man.
And then, you know, they had those CD catalogs back in the day.
Sure.
Where you could, you know, go onto like this website, you'd get like a thing in the mail with a bunch of CDs in it, and you'd like go and listen to like a 30-second snippet of the song.
Yeah.
And so my parents were like, it was like a little membership club, but they're like, oh, you can get like a couple CDs a month. They finally let me do it. And so I like went and listened to, you know, several CDs.
Yeah.
And I got like a Green Day album.
Nice.
And I got Nas, Streets Disciple.
Okay.
And, you know, just off of listening to like the little
Yeah.
30-second snippet. And
Yeah.
I got some other stuff that probably wasn't as cool. Or maybe way cooler. I don't even remember.
Sure.
But
Sure.
So from then on, I like really got into. And then I had an older sister, and just she was kind of the person that introduced me to like Dr. Dre. You know, when I was just a little kid, and like
Okay.
she was the one that introduced me to Atmosphere on MySpace and stuff like that.
Nice,
and
nice.
So I was always kind of trying to be cool and like hang around her crowd, and
Yeah.
she's pretty cool person.
Dope,
but-
man. So, what was school like for you?
So when I was in like, by the time I got to high school, like I said, I met Wolphe from Lifted Mindz. He
Okay.
was the one that kind of
Shout out, Wolf.
Shout out Wolphe. So kind of as we were growing up in kind of the Savage Prior Lake area, there was another neighboring, you know, little kind of suburb town called Shakopee. And so like the other half of Lifted Mindz was like incubating in this area, and we were over here.
Okay.
And so Eloda and Vogos, they were going to high school in like the neighboring, you know, town or whatever. And me and Wolphe were going on, we didn't ever even met each other or anything like that. But we both kind of started doing music together simultaneously. So kind of started as like two heads of a snake. And then like eventually when we, like, you know, I was probably like 16, we just randomly met, like hanging out in somebody's garage, or like started
Okay.
doing stuff together. But
Dope.
from a pretty young age, you know, the thing is with Lifted Mindz, like Wolphe was really, he was like a musical, he was like a prodigy at a very young age. And
Yeah.
so I was just kind of like his friend, and I was like nowhere near as good as him. And he like, you know, played drums, piano, guitar.
Okay.
I was already messing around with recording equipment. He's like at 14 could make like full songs on his own.
Sure.
And so like he would like let me rap a verse or something like that. Every once in a while, we thought it would sound kind of cool. And you know, that's kind of how I got started. Like actually rapping. Like I would be like
Okay.
little like freestyling at parties and stuff like
Okay.
that at a really young age. Not a really young age, especially today, but you know, like probably 14, 15.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And then eventually, he was really, like I said, fresh with all the recording equipment. He had a little, like one microphone or something like that at his house. And
Okay.
we would just kind of make the first, like, Lifted Mindz songs
Sure.
down there with, like, just guitars and drums and,
Yeah.
you know, recording random stuff. And I remember one day, Joe actually ended up transferring Wolphe to Performing Arts High School in St. Paul.
Okay.
And so he started doing that. And that was kind of eye-opening for me, because I'm like, oh, wow. You know, we're just doing music in the basement, but he's actually going off, going to a different city, you know, going to meet all these other artistic kids, going into a place with recording equipment and all this crazy stuff. And he, like, came back with, like, beat CDs.
Uh-huh.
Like, I remember the first beat CD anyone ever gave me was, like, Wolphe. And, like, he wasn't even making beats like that. He was just
Yeah.
a musician. And he just had, like, 11 beats, and, like, half of them already had songs written. I was like, wow, man, I can't believe you did this. So, like, the concept of like even really spitting on beats didn't even really register at that point.
Sure.
So yeah, I was really focused by like sophomore year of high school. I was really focused on music.
Okay.
So following shortly after that, I ended up transferring over to a place called Main Street School of Performing Arts.
Okay.
Over in Hopkins actually. And so that's where they had like, you know, 4 disciplines you could kind of be on a track of: music, theater, dance.
Okay.
Maybe that was the 3, yeah. And so we would still take the general classes, but then we would take, like, you'd have a block of your day, like a quarter of your day would be like the music class.
Yeah.
So they would like put us in little bands and like have us, you know, play, and I'd play guitar, drums, or like, you know, I pretty much sucked worse than everybody at that point. And they had little like rooms with garage band and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I sucked, but I was like really into it, because everybody else had kind of grown up like getting into music at a really young age. Like their parents got them into it. Like my mom plays guitar, and like I would play her guitar and stuff when I was a
Okay.
kid, and like she got me into some lessons and stuff, but I had no real like training as a kid.
Sure.
And like the people around me were like already, you know, like I went to school. This kid's like cousin was Yanni. If you know, it was like,
yeah.
like, you know, they were like already knew music theory at 12 years old and like all that shit. And so I was really the odd man out in that place, but it really pushed me to be like, oh damn, everyone's better than me, but I'm having fun. But like, it's kind of obvious that I suck if I suck. So I really got to push myself. So that I really like started taking it. I don't want to say even took it seriously because I don't know how serious I was about anything at that time. But
Sure.
It was definitely like way more on my mind than you know, actually going through school. And like I got pretty decent grades and everything like that. It wasn't bad, but it was really not for me. And like I had to go off. I saw this path. I was into Twin Cities hip hop just so much. I was into just music as a way to express yourself and music as a way to communicate with the world. The opportunities that were coming from that and the feelings and the emotions and stuff was so far beyond anything that high school was giving me. I was like,
yeah, man.
Okay, this is it. And so I remember like the day I graduated high school, like my parents came. There was like 60 people in my graduating class because it was like a little performing arts school. Like I had to like jet early because I like was going to play like one of our first shows.
Okay.
Even. Like so that was really cool.
That's dope.
And so yeah, like we really sucked back then. But then we met, you know, Locos and Avoda. They were doing a lot of freestyling. And so there wasn't a lot of people where I grew up that really did freestyling or anything like that. But these guys were like hitting it all the time. Yeah. And they would just get out of class, go sit in the car, go sit in the Pontiac Grand Prix from 1998.
Yeah,
and
man,
just
that's
like, yeah, man, just drive into some cornfields and just rap.
Word.
And so, you know, that really sparked my kind of improvisational element with those guys too. So
dope.
With Joe was a lot of like structured songwriting skills, engineering, actual musical talent. With these guys, it was really just like this raw hip hop energy.
Yeah, man.
And so when we got together, it was like we kind of felt both of those like, oh, we can make like really well put together songs, but have them have this raw energy that we love.
Yeah,
and
dude.
so that became the journey real quick
Tight.
that point. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what we're still doing, I suppose.
Yeah, man.
That was quite a bit of time ago.
yeah. Can you remember the first infiltration of local hip hop hitting your waves?
Oh yeah, dude.
Your radar.
So I don't know if it was the first, because I might have heard stuff that I didn't register, but when it first registered was, like I said, MySpace, man. And my sister, I don't remember how old I was. I think it was maybe when Seven's Travels just came out.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe when you can't imagine how much fun you have.
Like 2004.
Something like that, dude.
There. Yeah.
When MySpace was big, I don't even know if I had a MySpace page at this point, but it was like the cool kids were doing it. And
that's wild to think about, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm 26 in 2019 for reference, so I don't know what the mathematics are on all this, but yeah, no, she showed me a MySpace page, and it was Atmosphere for the first time, and I had never heard of it before. I had never heard of anything like it, and I remember the songs even. It was like, Don't Ever Fucking Question It, Don't Ever Fucking Question That, and it was Smart Went Crazy. Those are the two I remember that were on the MySpace page. Those were like the poppin' songs that they had. And so I don't remember what happened after that, but something from there led me towards that direction a lot harder. Yeah.
Was it like the features, or did you start to go to like shows, or like what kind of led you down the path?
I went to some early like Rhyme Series shows and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't remember like the exact lineage. I'm a child of LimeWire.
Sure.
So I would hear bands, and I was just into music, so like I would hear any random band, and I'd go home and just LimeWire it. And I had no idea what it was. I don't think YouTube was really up like that at this time, so you couldn't just go and look up any song. I remember Yahoo Music was big for me, and I'd listen to Yahoo Music on shuffle. They would just play random music videos of like the Gorillaz and Rob Zombie and stuff, and I was like, that was like the kind of the first YouTube for me.
That's dope.
But so I just download everything on LimeWire, and so sorry, Sadiq and Slug, but like I just had every like Atmosphere song at some point, like every Brother Ali song and every Aesop song, and like every Wu-Tang song that I could get. They're all probably like bootleg, like crappy versions that were like 12 kilobytes per second,
right.
cut off. But like, yeah, I probably put 1 million viruses on every computer that I was around. But that really got me, and so I was kind of into some like mainstream stuff too, honestly. Like, I remember one of my first favorite rappers. I mean, I got into Nas really early, but then one of my first favorite rappers was like Ludacris. So like, like even like that Nelly Ludacris, like era
So,
was
like,
really when I
down
was like,
south, like almost kind of crunk era, like before
people were starting
kind
to say crunk.
Yeah, people were starting
People were
to say
starting to
crunk.
say chopped and screwed was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Yep. I watched a T-Pain interview recently. I just listened to the songs he's listening. I'm like, oh man, I've been listening to this guy like every day for my whole life. Pretty much.
Yo, he had so many hits though.
Man, you remember when Akon first came out?
Yeah.
I don't know why this is all like a
Yeah.
nostalgic podcast right now, but for some reason it is.
Yeah, no, I mean they made a lot of money with those singles though.
They
had
must
all the
have.
singles. But anyway, we're coming up on the commercial break soon. But why don't we talk about so you and Wolf are really starting to like get connected, are starting to do your thing and everything like that. What's the first live performance in front of people?
Oh, bro,
together?
I'll tell you.
And where?
So there's a spot next to my school, and so we were performing a little bit in high school because we would have like these little, presentations. You'd play for your class, stuff like that. But then the first show we ever booked, it was Monka Beans Coffee House, which is this place that when you were parking for Main Street, you would go park in the Monka Beans parking lot because it was like across the street, but they had a deal or whatever, and we would like smoke our cigarettes behind Monka Beans where no one could see us. We thought like act all cool and shit over there behind Monka Beans. And so that was our first place we ever played was Monka Beans, and they gave us like 3 hours on a Friday, and like we didn't know what we were doing. It was hilarious. Like my grandma, like the only show my grandma ever came to. Oh man, but then, we had it was hilarious. And I was playing a bass and he was playing a guitar, and every once in a while we'd switch. We were thought we were the Beatles at first, I think. We thought we were rapping Beatles or something. I think that was kind of the first idea that we had was like John and Paul, but like rapping a little bit or something. Word. I don't know.
Well,
but the songs must have been just god awful. He was good, man, but I can't believe it. I don't think I was very good at that.
Is
time.
there like any like recorded shit out there from that night?
Well, there actually is. Not from that night, but from that era. There's actually songs that I'm proud of from that era. Like we made good shit, even on Bandcamp and stuff. Like we even have like a Reverb Nation from has been updated to 2012.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So those songs are out there. Anything you're gonna hear on like Spotify and stuff is a little bit updated, but no, we actually, I don't know if it's good to other people. Some people like it, some people what it is. But I listen back to some of those songs and some of the most creative shit we ever did. Really.
Yeah.
And yeah, the reason that I was ever even able to put any energy into Lifted Mindz was because I was a bigger fan of everybody that was in the group beyond myself. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that, and to this day, I respect every single one of them on such a high level, and I have such a high faith of what they're doing and what they can do. Like, infinite potential is all I see in those guys for real. So
Word up, man.
Yeah, man. Like, seriously, and it sounds cheesy, and I'm not saying I'm not biased, but, like, Eloda is my favorite fucking rapper, dude. It's just the truth. I listen to their music just as much as... It's kind of the same as, like, why do we like Twin Cities hip-hop just because we're from the Twin Cities? I think about that sometimes. Like, would I like this stuff if I was from somewhere else? I'm not sure. It's hard to answer. Yeah. But for some reason, half the shit I listen to, or at least a good amount of it, comes from the Twin Cities, and it is what it is.
We really do make some good shit here.
We really do,
for
man.
Sure. But let's go ahead and hit this first commercial break. We got Optimystic in the house.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. We'll be right back.
Organized Grind.
Yo. Representing the Midwest, this is Truth Maze. Yes, y'all. Check out the new EP. It's entitled The Holy Bible. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music and elsewhere. Red Pill Music, baby. You see, with my words I can heal or kill. Talk fuck shit or truly keep it real. I can grab up a burner and flame my brother, or he and I can train so we elevate each other. I can talk about pussy all day and all night and not admit I'm toxic and don't treat women right. I can tell everybody how to pop a new pill, or tell the next generation the matrix is real. Cause what I know is I hold the power at will. Still sharp and still, goddammit, it's ill. For mentally the blade I hold, it takes skill. Specially designed so I can kill Bill. And the fake shit in me I need to reveal. That's what a god does with the ability ability to
Ready to
build.
go?
My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield. My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield.
Yes, y'all. Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno, kicking it with Optimystic.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, so we're getting into some history, him and Wolphe, how we got into music, how he started creating it.
This has been a real origin story podcast so far,
Hell
I
yeah,
think.
man. Hell yeah. So, is it true that you went to McNally Smith?
That is true, yes, I
Would
did.
you like to talk about your McNally Smith experience?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm very open about my experience there. There
Yeah,
was
I am
plenty. Did you go there too?
I did.
Oh, okay. I think
Yep.
maybe I knew that. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Actually, I don't think I knew that because I was thinking about asking you about.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, man. I graduated in 2009 from there.
Wow. Was Toki there when you were there?
He was just coming in.
Cool. Was Medium Zach there?
No, they
Okay.
like that whole program was being like
Built.
talked about.
Yeah.
and built. But I graduated
Cool.
right before they all started to teach. them.
Right. And I didn't go through that program because they were like the first or one of the first or something like that accredited hip hop programs in the country.
Okay, yeah.
Which that I'm sure instantly makes everybody feel a certain type of way, because it sounds like it could be handled very improperly. Luckily, and again, I didn't go to that specific program, but I have a lot of respect for the people that were running it, especially Toki Wright. I mean,
Yeah,
Toki
man.
Wright, to me, I will forever consider that man an OG and a mentor, and he's the dude. He's the dude. He is a great archetype, especially for Minneapolis or Boston or wherever he happens to be, the whole world,
Oh yeah.
of really how to do it as far as being a professional in the music industry.
For sure.
And lending your talents to youth. You know what I'm saying? Like actually being on a platform. He was on MTV. He toured the world. He did this and that. But at the same time, he brought his art down to the accessibility level of not just people that were at McNally, but like he had me doing some of my first community work where we
Yeah,
would go
man.
into community
Yeah.
centers and work with
Hell
5-year-olds.
yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
I have just tons of love for him
Yeah.
and Brittany Lynch, and that's how I really feel about most of the teachers I had at McNally. It was really stabbed with a lot of amazing people. I don't know how you felt about it, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the most value was the people that I met because
Exactly.
I formed connections
Right.
that will last a fucking lifetime. And like even when you think about just the minor shit of like partying with people, the McNally parties are insane because you got like 50 people, like keyboards and guitars and percussion and like the vocalists, and like
the energy in the room is
partying and
different.
ciphering,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and like talking about songs and like
Yeah.
eras and
Oh, yeah.
genres and
meeting kids that like I was growing up in the Twin Cities. I've considered myself I was a little bit of an outsider of this culture because I kind of grew up in the suburbs and I'm an immigrant, so I always kind of felt like an outsider everywhere.
Sure.
But like meeting people that had never even heard of Idea in St. Paul, I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
and they knew jazz musicians from 1925 that I had never heard of, and so it was like that interchange of culture was like, wow, like that's
Yeah.
eye opening. And I did want to just throw the caveat: I'm not about to tell everybody to go to music school. 'Cause
Right,
that is
no,
definitely
same.
not what I tell
same,
everybody.
Same here, man.
So
yeah,
I was starting with the good. I'm not even gonna get too far into the negative because you can
That's
think for
fine.
yourself. I mean, not about McNally or anything like
Right,
that, but
but
just
just
about is it worth it to go to even college today?
Right.
Yeah. I think it's very individualized as far as what is your path, who are you, how do you learn, what do you want to get.
Yeah.
For me, it happened to be so far a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was at a crossroads where I'm like, I can either bite the bullet with the loans and everything like that and pursue this for real, or I can, because I just felt like I hit a wall as far as like no knowledge of how to make shit sound good, how to organize, how to be a better business person, how to operate in a studio, in a professional setting. I didn't know those things, and so
Sure.
I felt like being a backpack rapper got me this far, and there's lots of ways to get to that next level. For me, it happened to be one of the ways that helped me was going to school.
Yeah.
But also, while I was in school, was when I was hitting the streets as far as with the music the hardest.
Right.
Even though I wasn't at my, like I wasn't even very good yet. I was still learning myself and my voice.
Sure.
I was hitting open mics. I was doing I was doing the whole nine.
Yeah,
so
man.
I had to do both simultaneously, as far as be promoting, be recording every day, be writing every day, be learning new skills, learning how to produce, do all these things, playing shows, meeting people, going to events. I was doing all that.
Yep.
But then I was trying to get decent grades and make the most out of McNally as well.
Sure.
And that was hard, man, dude. Like, I wouldn't even honestly wish it on anybody, but I didn't see another path for myself. I thought that was the way, because I wanted both worlds, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm still kind of in both worlds, because I learned how to be a professional in the music industry on a certain level. I mean, I'm still kind of learning every day, but at the same time, I learned how to take, like, your podcast, the organized grind, man. I had to learn how to take the grind and bring it to at least a slightly higher level of organization.
Sure, man.
But there's lots of places you can do that too. So I'm not
Yeah.
sitting out here like everybody go to music school, because that is definitely not the answer for everybody. And most of the people that I was going to school with, I felt sorry for, because I could tell it wasn't for them.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, you're complaining about your fucking homework, and you've never even stepped onto a stage, and you're trying to be a guitar major.
Right.
Like, how many guitar jobs are out there? 6? And you're not even playing, you're not even practicing, you're complaining about fucking math class? Like, dude, you are fucked.
That's,
Like,
that's the craziest thing too about
that was hard.
having the power at that age to like take out this much money in your name, regardless if it's you or having a co-signer or whatever. Like, you being able to go through this process at 18.
And I can't die, man, because my parents will get stuck with that debt. Or Nona's going to get stuck. I don't know who's going to get that debt, but they're not going to let that go away. I got to stay alive and pay that shit off, dude.
Yeah, man.
People are going to be pissed when I go away, man.
Yeah, I always think about, like, if they, like, decided to just, like, say, fuck it, and, like, we're all going to prison. You know, like, all the college kids.
Nah, man, I bet they're going to say fuck it and do some kind of educational reform. That's, you know, where I believe that
Yeah, man.
the good will lead us in the world. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's always cool to connect with someone who shares.
Hey,
the
we're
same
fucking
experience.
alumni
We are,
together,
man.
bro.
We are.
Nice. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
man.
I did not know that. That is cool. That is very cool.
Yeah, man. Yep, those were the days. Yeah, it's the same thing, man. I wouldn't necessarily encourage it, and especially kids that young who haven't had time to really develop life skills yet. Like, they haven't even gone out into the real world and like figured out what they're into yet.
And for me, my mom told me when I graduated high school, she'd said, because I was already trying to be a hip hop motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I had anything really going for me, but I was out there doing open mics and going, you know, I was trying to live the life. And so she told me, like, hey, you have 2 choices. You can either go to college, because we just fucking moved our entire life across the ocean for you to be happy, so we're not gonna let you fuck it up.
Yeah.
Or you can get out and just figure it out on your own. And not like get out like she wouldn't love me. She loved me no matter what. But it was kind of like, you're 18, dude. Do you know what we were doing when we were 18? Like, you're not just gonna sit on the couch and like go to a show a week or something. You know, it was not an option. So I did both. I moved in 2011 to the first Lifted Mindz house. Me and Janders, a.k.a. Joe, a.k.a. Wolphe, and Vogos the Critic. We found just some house in Midway that for some reason let us rent it, even though we had barely had a job between the 3 of us. Okay. I don't know what they were thinking, but
man.
We paid our rent and everything, but yeah. So yeah, they just, we got our first house. We kind of started really hitting more events, more, like I said, open mics were big for us. That's where we met a lot of the scene, a lot of the people that were, you know, around town making music.
What were some of the places that they were happening at?
So Fifth Element was a major one. That's where we met people like Acronym, CMJ. That's the first time I saw people like Christoph Crane, Mammoth, just a lot of people were out there.
Yeah, man. That's tight.
Felipe.
Yeah, man.
Crescent Moon. Because like the first time I ever, or one of the first open mics I remember at Fifth Element was in 2010 when Idea had passed away.
Yeah.
And so like everybody came to the Fifth Element open mic Carnage. And it was just, it was weird because now that I think back on it, I was like, I walked into like the entire hip hop cosmos that I kind of started occupying after that day.
Yeah.
Because I was really into Idea, but I didn't have any like connection in the physical world about it. You know what I'm saying? I saw him at Soundset or whatever.
Sure.
And then walking into that room where like all of his homies basically were, and it was all freestyles. That's the whole night was just, we're going to freestyle rap. It's going to go around and we're going to play little games. And
game night.
I don't even know if I ever got the mic or anything like that, but just watching guys like Carnage and the Mammoth and everybody, man, that was out there.
Man, that's so dope.
And so that, the Fifth Element monthly, and this is not even like this latest series. This is like 2-3 series of monthlies because they stop every once in a while and then they'll pick it back up. Then there was another spot, actually right by my high school again. It was a place called the Depot, and they would have it was like this youth run coffee shop.
That's right.
We're actually gonna do an all ages event there this summer,
Dope.
but I don't know too much about that yet. Something in July, but first place we opened for Christoph there. We opened for Christoph there twice at the Depot. It was very strange because I went to high school like down that street.
I think I did that same place with him and Dem Atlas.
Yeah,
prior to Dem Atlas getting signed. And all that.
Yep, and that's oh yeah, man, crazy. So shout out Christoph Crane because he really threw us a few bones really early on when we probably didn't deserve it, but
he's a good guy.
We had a couple people see something in us that they just threw some opportunities, and like as much as I don't think we ever got like put on or like, you know what I mean, everything we had to kind of claw at to get as far as just every step of the process and a lot of inner work too, you know what I mean, just growing and evolving as human beings because we were some hooligans at a certain point.
Yeah.
But there were some people looking back, from Marcos and Infinite Tree Media for doing some of our first videos, from Christoph Crane putting us on some of our first shows, to just everybody, man. There's a lot of really good people. Shout out like DJ Mind Control doing some of the first recordings on me, man.
Mind Control.
Joe Sadowski doing some of our first recording, putting us on one of our first shows. So yeah, there was some characters there that really stepped in and gave us some good direction. And then we were coming up in a pretty good class too because of St. Paul SPCPA, that the Conservatory of Performing Arts over there, they have a strong connection with a lot of Central kids. So through there we met like, James Franken and Freaky Bash, Evan Slack, who was producing a lot there, Dro.
Nice.
A lot of guys that are like really on the up and up there. Through like IPR, I mean, I'm at Alan Kingdom in like 2010 when he was Alan K. Freshly. I don't even know if people know about that, but he was already, there was a lot of good energy that was kind of bubbling under the surface, like right around that time.
Man.
And I mean, I kind of forget what I was even talking about now. I just started reminiscing.
It's just beautiful to just hear these memories, man.
Dude,
because you
crazy.
paint the
It's
picture
crazy.
really good. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can see these people. I can like see the places that you're talking about. It just feels like I'm there with you, man.
I'm trying to think of where else had open mics. I know there was more than just that. There was the Blue Nile, obviously. I didn't hit that. I wasn't a regular there or anything, but I definitely stepped up and got my ass whooped by that stage at least a couple times.
Sure, man. That stage was pretty awkward. Like it was kind of cramped with the.
I've been the only white dude in like so many rooms that I've been in, and not that that's ever been a problem. Is that I've just always felt like the outsider everywhere I've gone in my life. But I think that a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, man.
And so we've done shows. We did like a Hmong talent show one time.
Okay.
Like we really started playing audiences that were not us. You know what I mean? Like demographically or geographically or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was really helped build, because like we never like really just catered to like our type of audience.
Right. Yeah,
it's really
man.
only more recently we've almost found, or our audience has found us. We found our audience a little bit more, not in the sense that we're trying to cater to a certain type of person or anything like that, but just certain people catch on or whatever. But like we always really tried to be, not to say fit into the Twin Cities hip hop scene, but like we wanted to be like respected by the people that I wanted Truth Mazes' respect, you know what I mean? Before, I wanted like Christoph Crane to think I was cool. I wanted Carnage to think I was cool. I didn't care about thinking cool, but like I just understood even at that age that what dope hip hop actually was. Yeah, man. And like what these people were doing that was far beyond just spitting a couple words on a beat. Is like these people were actually like elevating consciousness. They were creating something around them. There was like the scene in Twin Cities. It was not just like people that put on shows. It was a true environment. Yeah, man. And it sparked a lot of people. I'm sure you feel this. So
for sure.
I wanted to tap into that energy, and I wanted to be on the level that these people were on, or at least able to compete in the same range. So
and I mean,
we put ourselves on the chopping block a lot.
Yeah, man. So I mean, just to catch us up now to like nowadays. I mean, you guys have put in a lot of work. I mean, as far as the collective, as far as your crew.
Well, thank you.
You guys have really, you know, I mean, the last show was thrown at the Caboose on your own, right? Like you
Totally.
threw that completely on your own. I mean, that's not an easy thing to take.
And
on.
I mean, not on my own, like I did everything myself, just to make that clear. But
on the collective zone.
With tons of help, you know, shout out Jay McKinney, shout out everybody at the Caboose, Steve,
I didn't
Mike,
mean...
but I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I just want to make it clear for the record. Right.
Your own people, without a lot of relying on someone to make sure point A to point Z gets done. Like
exactly.
All of you took the bricks.
Point Z. There's that next album.
Hey man. But so just talk about a little bit of the process of like getting into throwing your own shows and what kind of advice you would give to someone who is looking to do the same thing.
And so I'm gonna even bring it back one more time as far as we had a lot of good examples around us really quick.
Yeah.
So I mean, one of my earliest hip hop quote unquote memories as far as like actually learning the game a little bit was like I remember watching presentations from Guante in like 2011 about how to just be your own record label, how to provide multiple services, how to be professional and punctual and all these different things, and say the dopest shit anyone's ever heard, like all at the same time. And so there were just people like that where I'm like, oh, that's possible. Like, damn, you can literally be like, we never tried to get signed. We never tried to get a cosign. We never tried to like get it. You know, we probably should have done some of these things. You know, in retrospect, maybe certain things could have gone faster if certain people were in place. But I never relied on anybody else to do anything in the sense of waiting for something to happen. Sure. I wanted to learn every skill myself. And I mean, part of that was impatience. Part of that was impulsivity. You know, we wanted to go burn these CDs in the fucking basement that we made them, write on them in Sharpie, bring them to the high school, go up to the hot girls, like, yo, listen to this. Like, this is what we're up to. Right. So that was like step one, was like we were DIY before we knew what that was, just because we wanted people to hear what we were doing and we thought we had something to provide as far as, because I mean, going back to like, you know, early 2000s radio, ain't nobody Kendrick Lamar wasn't around.
Nah, man.
Nobody. J. Cole wasn't around yet. People talk shit about 2019 music, but they don't understand. 2010.
Ja Rule and like Limp Bizkit though. Like you had Korn and Limp Bizkit around then.
And I'm not saying these people aren't talented or they didn't make good music or whatever, but no one was saying shit. No one was saying anything. So you hear Idea and you're like, whoa. Yeah, man. Like you just explained birth to consciousness to fucking ascending to the next realm all in one song, and this guy's talking about his shoes. Like there's no comparison.
Right. So I mean, the first time hearing an Idea song like was just like, holy shit. And like it just took you on a fucking trip. Like it's almost like you were like injected into the brain that like wrote this shit, you know. It was dope. And
so that's what because I'm truly a writer at heart. You know, I experience the world through language and words, and that's what led me into music. And so I realized music was this canvas I could paint words on, basically. And then I fell in love with both. But I mean, same with Atmosphere, same with Brother Ali, even though those are kind of the names you always hear. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, I said some random stuff a couple weeks ago that...
Yeah, man. Yeah,
but I saw that. It was a weird thing. I don't know. I can get into it if I want to.
If you want to.
Shout out Big Zach. Everybody just go read Big Zach's book.
Yeah, man.
Big Zach's an ultimate legend. One of my hip-hop superheroes. Sure. I love that guy.
He's going to be on the podcast, I think, next week.
Cool.
Next Friday, man.
Cool. Why don't you ask him about it? Because I don't want to say anymore. But no, I have a beautiful connection with Rhyme Sayers, and... those were the guys that showed me, they built the bridge from where I was to where this is, basically.
Sure.
And so there's a lot of feelings about that, but they made me think it was possible to do it, right?
Yeah, man.
And so I never waited to get, I didn't think it was even an option to get signed, or I didn't know what a manager was. I just wanted to play shows, so I'd go to Dinkytown, where everybody was flyering, and I'd pick up every flyer, and I'd look at the little logo on the bottom, and I would say, oh, cool, that'd go on MySpace or Facebook at this point, probably, and I'd look that name up on Facebook, and so cool, this, whatever productions that's putting on this show. And I'd write them a message like, hey, can I play your show? And I did that about 40 million times. And then I went to IPR. They were giving out some free high school classes. And part of the membership was they would give you this database of venues and everything. And nobody ever used it. And I sat there one day and I wrote emails to every single person on the database. And
that's dope.
we got like a 15-minute slot at the Red Sea. Or it was just super incremental. But then every once in a while we got shined on by Christoph Crane or Guante or some of these people. And they weren't putting us in crazy positions, but they were just showing us that there's something more coming. There's something more like, keep going. Like, okay, you're on the right track. So it's not always about making all the progress at once. It's just about seeing a little bit of improvement at a time. And so before you know it, or, some time passed or whatever, and all your friends are throwing shows, and now all your friends are making their own beats, and all your friends have little studios, and we just surrounded ourselves by more and more of those people, and so we were part of that. Like, we didn't really pioneer DIY. People were the foundation was built. And so that's why I think we're really only starting out now, is because we're only even getting to the point, or at least me personally, where I'm even starting to understand the big picture. Because before you're a little ant in the anthill. And now I'm starting to, through doing it for so long, through research in the music industry, through watching the evolution of technology, through going to school, now I kind of see the whole ant colony. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So we built this little thing here. Well, how can we scale that up to the universe, the world? And does that even matter? Maybe not, but maybe we can affect enough people in enough different places that we can put a little gas and go to the next city, or maybe we can put a little food on the table and pay some rent so that next month we can spend 15 hours a day making beats instead of 7 because we had to work for 8. And that's really the timing on it, man. Like,
man.
I know you know this, but you got to hit it hard. Like, there's nobody that's doing 3 hours a week of rapping or making beats or recording, and all of a sudden you're fucking everything.
Right.
I mean, there's like one Lil Yachty, but that dude has a special spirit. That dude has a special soul, and you can't judge your life on him.
Yeah, man. So we're going to go into the second commercial break soon, but before we do, what's the next thing that is kind of on your checklist as far as
when is this podcast going to go out?
Probably tonight.
Oh, shit. So we're in
on April or on May 1st. May 1st.
So I'm from a group called Lifted Mindz. You can find us at Lifted Mindz, LIFTEDMINDZ, on all the social media networks, or on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Also part of a music group called Goop City Music, GOOPMUSIC. Oh, what the hell did I just say? Goop City Music, look it up. Don't listen to me spell. But so, yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming on. We're going on tour in a couple weeks here. This Saturday, we're playing with the Mackinacs at Zimmergy Brewing in Menominee, Wisconsin. On the 10th of May, I'm flying out to Chicago to support my boy Opium.
Okay.
We're playing Manifest. He's playing it. I'm getting the hype man. He's bringing me along.
Dope.
No one's giving me any money, so it's not that cool. But it's really cool. I'm just kidding.
It's pretty dope.
I don't want to even front like everyone's paying me $1 billion. Nah, that's not the case yet. But we're going to be at Manifest opening for Kwaku Collins and a bunch of other amazing artists in Chicago. There's probably some other stuff in the meantime, but on May 17th, we're heading up to Head in a Bin Spring Campout, which is a crazy like EDM campout festival thing over at Pure Bliss Ranch. Shout out to the King family. R.I.P. Ms. King. So we'll be playing there. We're meeting up with my boy Miles Bullen from Portland, Maine, who's touring for the last like 3 months or something like that. He's on a crazy adventure across the country, and we're going to tour. We're going to hit May 17th, Pure Bliss Ranch, Waupun, Minnesota. May 18th, we're going to be at the Keller Bar in St. Cloud, Minnesota. May 19th is going to be Goop Fest. You got to go, and you got to follow Lifted Mindz, or you got to follow Goop City Music, or you got to follow me, Lifted Max, LIFTEDMAX, at Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Because we got a lot of special announcements for that gig. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening, and you might need to be in the know to get the address. So hit us up.
Dope.
We'll tell you about it, though. So then we're going out to Chicago again on the 24th. We're going to play at the 23rd, we're going to play at the Elbow Room with my boy Opium, with Miles Bullen, with Pest Control, with Adam Gottlieb and One Love. After that, we're hitting Kansas City, Missouri on the 24th. Shout out Riot Room. So we're going to be over there. Then we're going to be on the East Coast for a few days in the end of May.
Okay.
You're going to have to tune in to the social media networks for those dates, but I'll tell you them. And then we're going to come back and play Earth Rhythms, which is a music festival back up at Pure Bliss Ranch in Waubun, Minnesota. And you got to get pre-party tickets because we're playing the pre-party and we're playing Friday. Lifted Mindz on Thursday, Goop City on Friday. So
Dope shit.
it'll be fun. And then we got a bunch of crazy shit this summer, man. I don't even know. I can't even keep track of it. I'm just fucking sweating bullets every day trying to set all this shit up and make it all happen and make everybody happy and try not to fucking kill myself in the process. So that's just been my life. Has just been putting everything.
Dope.
It's not always like, dude, I'll say this because I've been booking this tour. I would not mind hiring somebody to book a tour for me. That shit is fucking stressful. I am talking to everybody every day about everything, and it's a lot of fun. I do not hate it at all. I love it. But man, I don't know if I'm just a person that runs on high stress, but
sure.
It's a lot to take on.
The question was, what's the next thing you would like to achieve, or
achieve? Okay,
to mark off your checklist.
My bad. You were asking me a specific question, and
it's
I just went off
man.
and told you every date.
I was going to ask you the tour shit after this segment, but now that's covered, so we don't even got to do that again.
My bad for assuming.
It's all good, dog. So the question was...
what do I want to achieve?
What's the next thing that is really, like, it will make you feel good about your career if this takes off for you, if this part of your career starts going good?
Sure.
What's the next level?
Right. That's a good question. As far as for me, the next level is really to be able to focus on art as much as possible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because right now, like I was saying just a second ago, I'm not complaining about it, but there's a lot of other chess pieces I'm moving every day and I have to focus on, which is really, really good, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of, cool opportunities that come from everything. But definitely, I'm trying to carve out a space right now in my life where I can focus on being the ultimate creative individual.
Yeah.
And part of that is growing my organizational skills to be a better delegator,
for sure.
Maybe create some jobs for some people, maybe learn how to systematize things.
Sure.
And so I'm learning a lot from Matt Grosso, who runs Cloverleaf Audio, who I work with.
Okay.
He's just a fucking prodigy as well, man. He's younger than me, and he is just already an expert at building business, and it's really cool to see. So shout out Matt. I love you, Matt. But I'm trying to apply some higher level organization to my own structure.
Sure.
And so, once upon a time, somebody told me, be your own label. Now I'm trying to figure out how to hire somebody to be my own label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of getting signed, I want to build the organization. Exactly.
Yeah,
and to create that same opportunity for my homies too, because, like I said, Alota is one of my favorite rappers from Lifted Mindz, and I'm not trying to front about that. But I want to create a, streamlined mechanism where he can be his ultimate artist and not have to worry about all this bullshit, because that's not really what his mind likes to think about so much, is the bit,
Right.
He wants to show up and do his thing, and he wants to spend all night making beats and all day writing, that's what he wants to do.
That's the dream.
And so I want to make it easier for my friends to be able to tap into that.
For sure.
Because everybody that we're growing up, we're at different phases in our lives. Like some of us are getting married and graduating college, all these different things. So I'm really proud of my boys, and I just really want to make it easy for us to kind of are able to create at the next level of adulthood that's kind of hitting us.
Yeah, that's dope. Well, shit, real words with Optimystic. This is Organized Grind, the podcast with Orikal Uno. Second commercial break. We'll come back, and then we'll put Optimystic through the Lightning Gauntlet. Hey, what's up, world? This is Orikal Uno checking in to let you know that I just released a brand new EP entitled Speech Therapy. It's entirely self-produced, and you can now get it at orikaluno.com. That's ORIKALUNO.com. Thank you for listening.
It's all unraveling. I feel it in my abdomen. About to take a swim in a bottle from the cabinet. Full throttle, hollowing the content of the glass I sip. Too much pain, yeah, the shit ain't even masking it. Okay, got a few loose things I need to tighten up. Do it in the dark before the sky tries to brighten up. Maneuver in the shadows, that's all I'm really used to. Most people always try to find a way to use it. Feeling for a drive, I'm in need to feel alive. 95 miles per hour on a 94 ride. Pissing off passerbyers that are forced to coincide with me. Middle finger up to the punk on the side of me. Rough around the edges, disrespecting the guest list. Use all my drink tickets and forget the set list. I've seen it all before and you ain't impressive. I ain't shit either, yeah, I've learned that lesson. Had it go in the wind. Got my windows open, I ain't holding it in. I try to take it slow, but the motion's intense. It happened too fast, can't get over the bends. Let it go, let it go, let it go in the wind. Got my windows open, I ain't holding it in. I try to take it slow, but the motion's intense. It happened too fast, can't get over the bends. Let it go, let it go.
Yes, y'all, chopping it up with Optimystic.
What's up?
About to take him through the Lightning Gauntlet. This is Organized Grind, the podcast. Just talking with this guy, man. We were just off of air and
Reminiscing.
All of the memories of this hip hop scene are just beautiful, and I just wanted to throw that out there right now.
Totally.
Like, I just want to take a
And
second.
you were somebody that as soon as maybe it was that show that I first ran into you, or I'm not
The
sure.
Entry?
At the Entry,
Okay.
yeah. I don't even know if I'm allowed to call it a show, but it was a show for you, not for me.
for Tully, really.
For Tully,
It was for Tully.
Yeah, that might have been the first time we ever crossed paths.
Yeah,
I think
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I knew you since then, but I forget that was the moment.
Yeah. And you've definitely grown up to be quite the respectable young man.
Well,
if-
thank you,
if
man.
I may say
Thank
so
you.
myself.
I had good examples from motherfuckers like you.
You know, I've fucking.
'Cause you're not that much older than me, but
Nah,
at that time, I felt you were like light years ahead of me.
I mean,
honestly, yeah.
Like when you're 18 and I'm 21,
Right,
like, that's a pretty
right.
big gap, I'd say, you know. But anyway, what's it matter at the same time, you know? We're all
Cool to think back on, honestly.
here now, and yeah, it's just really dope to catch up and shit. But all right, here we go. This is the Lightning Gauntlet, where I'm gonna ask Optimistic 3 random questions. So question number 1, jumping right into it. If you could own any prop that was used in a movie, which prop would you choose?
Oh wow, that's nuts.
And why?
I want a lightsaber because I just saw Yoda right above your head. Your little Yoda figurine. That's the only prop I could think of. I want the Millennium Falcon for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd do something weird with that.
Dope. All right. Question number 2. If you were 10 years younger but knew everything at that age that you've actually learned over the last 10 years, what is one thing that you would definitely do differently than you did?
I'd be the dopest motherfucking mumble rapper in the world right now. If
Oh,
I knew
yeah?
everything I did today when I was 10 years younger, oh man, I'd be Little Xan times 10.
Just start the wave.
No, I wouldn't be starting it, but I'd
10
be
years
like...
ago, though? I mean, you
Oh,
might be.
I thought 10 years ago now, or I'm 10 years younger now. Or it is 10 years ago, but I just know what I know.
Hold up. Yeah, if you were 10 years younger. Okay,
I thought for some
if
reason
you were 10
now.
years younger now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. My fault.
I would be like mumble rapping, but I'd be trying to be like idea at the same time, which I think is what I'm gonna do tomorrow. So
All right, and then question number 3. From computers to cars, cell phones to TV remote controls, of all the things you use that have buttons on them, what is your favorite button to push? And this is asking an audio engineer.
that is next level. Record. I hit that 3 on the numpad.
Yeah, 3
It's
on the
magic
numpad.
after that. Oh yeah.
3 on the numpad. You got to use that shit now for something too. 3 on the numpad. yo, that was the Lightning Gauntlet with Optimystic, man. So, shit, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
through
much
the
for having me.
podcast. Do you have final words, shout outs, plugs? I mean, you do have the massive tour that you can check the time mark for in the description to hear those dates again.
Yeah. So we're basically just playing shows pretty regularly in as many places as we can. All of our music is pretty much all online for free. I have some beats online on a beat store.
Dope.
I have some instrumental albums that come out occasionally.
Drop some links again.
So yeah, everything that you want to know, you can go at Lifted Mindz on any of the social media networks, or look up Lifted Mindz with the Z at the end on Facebook. You can look up Goop City Music at any of the social media networks. Same with Goop City Music on Facebook. And I'm Lifted Max, LIFTEDMAX, on Instagram and Twitter. Also, we have liftedminds.com where we post cool updates and stuff like that. We'll have the whole tour on there. Yeah, man. Make dope music. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, shit, this has been Organized Grind, the podcast, episode 21 with Optimystic. I'm Orikal Uno. We're going to get into a track from Lifted Leakage 3. It's called HolyWater, featuring Acronym. As always...
Produced by Empty Brother 7.
There you go. As always, peace and love.
Organized Grind with Orikal Uno. Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
This holy water, pour the grill out for both my daughters. Some for the sun I bring, truth from the tongue that I run my way.
Yeah, I've been sipping this holy water, trying to think through this shit, why bother? Need a cold when I need a sponsor, need a smoke, gotta feed the monster.
I've been sipping on this holy water, concentrated on my only problem, feeling love with no hate, sitting on the shore waiting for some rays.
I've been eating this holy blotter, beating God when I hold my daughter. They mistaken that gold for copper, they been taking us kings for paupers.
Open wings up to the sky, dreams gotta seek the high. Pour a drink, baby, open wide, like sleep, but you close your eyes.
Broken dreams, yeah, I feel alive. Never stop to spread love, I find peace within something that I find. I've been looking for my high mind.
Feeling fine, good. Kick around, get my shot, I was in the look. Over my shoulder, done with the bullshit. All I got's love, if you knew, then you know this.
Feeling down, but I know I'm good. Peace of mind like I'm understood. I'm okay with what I don't know. Plant the seed and I watch it grow. I've been waiting too long. Keep me waiting, no, don't keep me waiting. I've been taking too long. Don't keep me waiting, but I'm staying faithful. I've been waiting too long. Don't keep me waiting, no, don't keep me waiting. I've been taking too long. Don't keep me waiting, but I'm staying faithful.
I've been sipping this holy water, pour the life out for you, my calling. Got the world up and on my back, gotta jump and can't hold me back.
I've been sipping this holy water, trying to find a piece of my liver behind a mess. Trying to find a friend to remind me of the good times. Me living so bad, pull me from the edge.
What do you want from me now? I just been bugging it now. Sipping holy water to get lost in the crowd. Find the goddess somehow, this cost me a crown. You been dragging it across on your back, I follow the path of the ground. Hate to fall apart, shake it all right off. Praying for God all day. I'm searching earth for my fate. Nowhere I can go that can't be unchanged. I've been lost, but lost is my home. All I want is all I don't know. I can hide, but I can't be shown. Far from my son where I belong.
Broken dreams, yeah, I feel alive. Never stop and spread love, I find peace within something that I find. I've been looking for my high mind.
Feeling fine, good. Kick around, get my shot, I was in the look. Over my shoulder, done with the bullshit. All I got's love, if you knew, then you know this.
Feeling down, but I know I'm good. Peace of mind like I'm understood. I'm okay with what I don't know. Plant the seed and I watch it grow. I've been waiting too long.